Who the hell are you? In fact, if somebody comes to you tomorrow and says, oh, hey, let's do a deal today. I got to open with this title company. You're going to go, oh, hell no. I am never doing business with those people again. Guys, your job as somebody who makes money is to learn skills. And one of the skills you have to learn is... Great questions today. This will be great. Kirsten Martinez says, I have heard conflicting answers. Do we or do we not need a JV agreement when doing simple Gator funding for EMD? No interest, just chunks. Without the JV, how would we have the ability to cancel the contract ourselves? Okay. Now, here's a challenge. I learned that because Gator is a relatively new strategy, I've been doing it for roughly 15 years, all the way back when I was a contractor, really did well with it about 9 years ago. And then about a year ago, decided to release it to everybody. Okay. So 100% of the time, you need a JV agreement, always. Sean St. Clair is the person who wrote the JV agreement. He's the attorney that drafted up all the agreements. He understands the strategy. He's the one that's watched 100 of those deals being done. We've consulted with him multiple times. 100% of the time, use a JV agreement. And now with that, okay, a couple of things that you'll run into. The paperwork that we've put together for the Gator tribe and the attorney that did the work, how much money did I personally spend on that paperwork so far? Does anybody know how much that paperwork has cost us and how much time it took us to put together? Okay, it initially was $7,000. Okay, a little over $7,000. He charges me every time we do a Zoom together. He's about $450 an hour. And we have done 4 or 5 different updates to that contract. I think we're somewhere around $12,000 or $13,000 for that contract, right? As at this point, $12,000 or $13,000. It won't be the last time I update the contract. And why is that? So here's a question for you. If you're a real estate agent, how many times does your state contract satisfy exactly what your agreement with the buyer, the seller is? How many times do you have to do addendums to your contracts? What percent of the time when you do a deal? You have an addendum at title, you have an addendum to the purchase contract. Here, Debbie Lou says all the time. Jason says 90% of the time. Jose de Leon says 99% of the time. Belinda, often. Nate Buttry says 100%. Eddie G says 70%. Ike says 80% of the time. So let's put this, for the people that are not real estate agents, that don't understand how real estate and business operates. When I was brand new to real estate, I assumed that a contract was like set in stone and that nothing changes on the standard templated contract. But the longer I was in real estate, I realized, oh my gosh, these contracts are literally just framework. And every transaction I have ever done has an addendum, a change, an extension, or something marked out, updated, etc., depending on the state, depending on the seller, depending on the lender, depending on whoever's getting involved, right? You always have an update to a contract. So let's ask this question. Does the Gator contract satisfy every single, well, let's ask this question. Does a standard real estate contract given by the state of Arizona satisfy 100% of the real estate transactions out there? Or is there a time from time to time that state issued, state educated, state legislated contract has to be adapted, changed, addended? So why is it that the state has you constantly putting addendums on there? Shouldn't we be upset that contract that the state makes you use, shouldn't we be upset that they make you do addendums on your purchase contracts? Is this helpful for people that have never done a real estate transaction before? Are you understanding this? I want to put a nail in this coffin. Don't ever, ever, ever assume that a purchase contract, even the one in your state, okay? We had some, I want to say his name, but I also, I promised myself in 2023 I would pick on people less. I want to say his name, but he's like, your contract doesn't work in my state. Okay, well, the way that you assume my contract doesn't work in your state also suggests that your state contract for buying regular real estate also doesn't work in your state, because you had to make a couple adjustments or an addendum, or you had to cross something out and update it. 100% of the time I have ever done a transaction, write that down. 100% of the time I've done a transaction, we have had an addendum, We've had a separate agreement outside of the purchase contract. We've had to change the purchase contract. Whatever the title company. Oh, this is another good question. When I go to Costco, okay? When I go to Costco and I go to one lane versus a different lane, am I going to get the same quality of service even though I'm in the same establishment? Interesting. Yet some people in here that are brand new, they have these things at the same time. Guys, does anybody go to QT gas station over like a mobile or AM/PM? I go to QT because of how easy it is. I go to the cash register. They don't even ask if I want a receipt. Of course I don't want a receipt. It's 2023. Who the hell is saying yes to yes, I want a receipt? Who the hell are you? And do you have a fax machine also? Who the hell says, yes, I would like my receipt for my candy bar and my chips? Okay. You don't need a receipt. You have a bank account that has bank statements. Okay. So I go to QT because of the convenience. I will literally go out of my way to drive 3 miles to a QT, even if there's a Chevron, an AM/PM. Does anybody else have that in their life? Like where you want to eat, what grocery store you go to, what gas station you go to. Give me a yes if you guys have something like that in your life. Yet some of you guys will complain when one title company or 2 title companies or 3 title companies doesn't want to do what you want to do. There are literally, I'm not exaggerating, there are literally more title and escrow companies in your city, in your state than Starbucks. I have a dozen title companies in every state that will do subject to deals, seller finance deals, novation agreements, lease options. They'll do Morby methods, et cetera. But then if I call a random one and I go, hey, do you know what a Morby method is? The majority of them don't even know what a Subto is. Yet that's the only type of purchase I've bought in the last 7 years. I'm only buying Subto and seller finance deals. So if I call somebody who makes $40,000 a year sitting at an escrow office, do I expect them to know how to do everything in real estate? No. Guys, your job as somebody who makes money is to learn skills. And one of the skills you have to learn is finding other professionals to do work with. It's one of the skills. Any real estate agents in here absolutely refuse to do business with a title company that has screwed up over your client in a regular cash purchase transaction on a house? Anybody in here? You cut them. In fact, if somebody comes to you tomorrow and says, oh, hey, let's do a deal today. I got to open with this title company. You're going to go, oh, hell no. I am never doing business with those people again. Have that expectation when you are a business owner. It's the same reason I go to one Home Depot in the Valley. The one on Country Club. I don't know why, but some Home Depots are way more contractor focused versus homeowner focused. And I'm not going to the homeowner focused one, I'm going to the contractor one. So the expectation of title companies, closing attorneys, Home Depots, gas stations, banks, we all understand it's the same thing. But when people jump into real estate for the first time, they forget the fact that you navigate your life to focus on the gas station you enjoy, the food places you enjoy, the grocery places you enjoy, the gym that you enjoy going to, right? All these convenient places. I like to go to a sushi spot up in Scottsdale instead of one by my house, because then my wife and I can go to the movie theater that I like that's clean. I will go 20 miles out of my way to have the convenience and the experience that I want. So this is a life lesson. Here's what you should assume. You should assume that 100% of the time you are in a contract with a Gator borrower, or you are Gator wrestling, or you are bringing on private money 100% of the time. Okay. And I'll give you another good analogy. 100% of the time, the contract needs to be addended, changed, updated, tweaked, adapted, and massaged to fit that situation and the state that you're in. Do we all agree with that? That is the normal way to expect any real estate transaction, let alone Gator transactions. Hold on a second. This is too good. This is too good. This is too good. The entire world is paying people $25,000 to mentorships, to learn how to raise capital. People are paying how to find you. They want you. They want to find you.